Hey everybody, Bethesda's E3 conference. This was probably how EA's should have gone. Bethesda didn't have a lot to talk about, but what they did talk about, they did in a very efficient manner. They still managed to have a bit of fun with the Bethesda land sort of Fallout-y type, where they sort of take that American kitschy 50s sort of culture and have a bit of fun with it. The first big announcements were about VR, funnily enough. They have two big announcements for VR that are going to be out this year. Doom VFR, Virtual F in Reality, I guess, and Fallout 4 VR. Let's have a quick look at those. I think Doom would be pretty terrifying to be playing in VR. Maybe like a bit queasy inducing with all those fast movements. And then Fallout is a lot different for a VR game. VR games are usually very, very short. Fallout is not a short game. It's a game that you could spend weeks and weeks just using the building editor and setting up your town. So are people going to want to play 100 hours of an RPG? I think it'd be interesting. Fallout has a lot of interesting visuals and it's already an immersive game. So two very different styles, but something new for VR. Then they talked about Elder Scrolls Online, how the Morrowind expansion is available now. Looks pretty good. Seems like this is a nice evolution for the series and for RPGs in general. And I'm glad to see that these MMORPGs are taking off on the console. They talked about Creation Club. This is something that's coming out in summer 2017 for all platforms. They talk about new content for Skyrim and Fallout 4, items, weapons, use credits. I don't know if those cost money or if you earn those in the game. I'm assuming they cost money, and you download them right from the menu and put them into the game. I guess this is a way to bring sort of that modding community and for them to make a bit of money off of it if you are paying for the credits, and to bring that to the consoles. So it's nice to see that the different platforms getting a bit more homogenized. As long as we don't get any error messages in consoles, I'm totally fine with being more like PC. Then they talked about their Elder Scrolls Legends card game, much like Hearthstone, competitive card game, very flashy, using the same races and the things you know about it. Their big announcement was that they're going to have Dark Brotherhood content, and they're going to have tournaments. And Heroes of Skyrim content is going to be coming out June 29th. Skyrim, remember that being on Switch? That was a big rumor, and then Bethesda wouldn't confirm it. Here it is. You can use amiibos. You can play as Link. There he is in his blue Breath of the Wild suit. And you can use gyroscope controls if you ever wanted to do this. I don't. I hate gyroscope controls big time. But look, there you are. It's Nintendo's dream. Gyro controls. God, ruining everything. There's a Dishonored standalone expansion coming out called Death to the Outsider. That's going to be out September 15th, 2017. Looks good. I love Dishonored. I think it's a game that just didn't seem to hit the market. I don't know if the name throws it off. I feel like the name doesn't suggest what a great game it is. But if you like incredible environment, if you like BioShock, incredible environments, the storytelling isn't that important. It's more action, and the physics are great. The melee combat is great. The combination of the different powers is amazing. It's such a wonderful game. Both Dishonored 1 and Dishonored 2. They're amazing. They're the thinking person's action RPG, you might say. Then we had Quake eSports. Blake Blazkowicz is going to be in Quake Champions. Then they brought in some of these sort of like actors, I guess, pretending to be YouTubers. These people look like YouTubers. Maybe they are. They're kind of on that cusp of maybe models, maybe normal people, maybe that weird slightly thing about them that makes them play video games like we all have, right? It looks fine, I guess. I think with Quake, people want to have something traditional. That's what they like about it. So they have to be careful not to modernize it too much. You don't want to have wall hacks. You don't want to ruin that competitive balance that made Quake so damn addictive back in the day, and why people still clamor for it when they compare it to the multiplayer shooters of today. You can actually play the beta now if you like. There's going to be a Quake World Championship August 26th, Austin, Texas at QuakeCon. Then they showed The Evil Within 2 that's coming out Friday 13th, 2017. Psychological horror, fantastical elements, a lot of this like milky imagery, Man, I thought this was almost like a David Cage game, like Fahrenheit or Indigo Prophecy. I mentioned this on one of the other conference breakdowns. I think it was EA's. So I'm glad to see that this style of gaming is coming back, and it's great. I mean, it's immersive. It's what you can do with the video game medium, because you are basically limitless in what you want to create. I mean, you're not reliant on it looking real on camera, because it's all the same CGI, so you can get away with a lot. You don't have to worry about making a good suit or any of that stuff. So sure, bring it on. Be all freaky deaky. And then their biggest announcement at the end was Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. Story looks really good, actually. They're not afraid to try new things in Wolfenstein. It seems to like almost be jumping across a bunch of different eras. This almost seems like the 70s in a way, or like the 60s probably is more like it. But it seems like they're trucking along with the series, and they don't seem too hampered down by what they've done before. So in the previous Wolfenstein games, you'd have a huge variance in the soundtrack choices, from classical to metal to rock, and just old school pop, sort of like that period piece stuff like Fallout would have. Here the Germans have taken over, and people are struggling under the Nazi rule. Here's the mom trying to get the kid to leave, afraid of the Germans. There they go. And then this is sort of a tense moment, sort of like Glorious Bastards,
please.
because he wants to seize your papers.
I hope you don't have a fire back there to put out. If so, I'll come back another time.
There you go. So it's all about playing as these rebels, and you're fighting under the Nazi rule, and you're trying to make the world a better place. See, he's got this sort of futuristic helmet. And that's kind of the neat thing about Wolfenstein, is it combines the sort of period piece style, old World War I, World War II weaponry and technology with sort of electricity fueled technology. Not even electricity, like lightning fueled technology. And then this crazy morphing helmet he has on. But yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Stay calm. Let me first make it absolutely clear that I am not a Nazi.
Yeah. He does look a little Aryan. There you go. Bethesda's conference was exactly how it should be done. If you don't have a lot to talk about, you can't always have big games to announce all the time. I mean, you could announce things that are way out, but you wouldn't have maybe a great vertical slice to show. Maybe you don't want to have your developer spending the precious resources to make something to show at a trailer just so you have something new to show every year. They had enough to show. They did it. I saw a lot of people commenting saying they're really disappointed, really disappointed. I thought this was great. This was fine. They did the best with what they could, and they didn't waste anyone's time doing it. As somebody who had to sit through the entirety of EA's conference, that was a whole lot of nothing and a whole lot of people telling you how to feel about a game. It was nice that Bethesda is more in touch with the gamers and just showed you things you wanted to see, even if they weren't the biggest names in the world. I mean, people wanting like Fallout 5 and the next Elder Scrolls game. It's not going to happen. Bethesda takes their time. This was great. Good job, Bethesda. I think Microsoft had a more impressive one, but it's really comparing apples to oranges in that sense, because Microsoft has such a much wider berth to draw from. Bethesda does really well for their size, and they put out some great games that kind of get overlooked, which is sort of the sad part. But good job, Bethesda. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and bye for now.